I mean, they
I think
belong
that's
to
the thing. They're
Nesta.
not illegal anymore.
Okay. So Rose is starting as Brittany, basically. Curia
Mhm.
Solita. And Mordred is returning as Belgium. Cugernia. Alright then. Right next to Menapia. Is Mordred taking over the country that just kicked him out?
That's
Yes.
what Rose did too.
So is Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're just reincarnating.
Yes.
Taking the state over from within.
The reverse
awesome.
blob.
Macedon, where you at?
Joining in right now. I should say loading up the game right now.
I'm going to go and have a word with Mediterranean Region West in the meantime then. Thanks, guys.
Okay, see you.
Now.
Bye.
Whatever they call it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey,
things going
how's
in
it
the
going?
West?
Oh, hello, Mordred.
How's the Western world going?
It's good. It's sieges
Yes.
are slow and painful.
There's a lot of nations allying each other, so it's hard to expand for me.
Yeah, Iberia's the Balkans of
Yeah.
of this era right now. I'm not getting involved with it, though I have made fairly nice, peaceful overtures to my two neighbors to the Iberian North, and
Yeah.
and we have an understanding with each other. I've
Yeah, we
also
can't-
I don't know if
No.
Prussian Prince has said anything when you talk to the Eastern Med. But I've brought not to quote Neville Chamberlain, but I'm going to do it. I've brought peace in our time.
I haven't actually had a chance to talk to Prussian Prince yet. He was going to be the next one.
I've worked out a deal with Syracuse to have my area of the Sicilian island as a DMZ until 480, when I will begin selling back the provinces to him, as that is the time I need to transfer the economic power of Sicily to the mainland. And that way we avoid the bloodshed, war, and strife that would come from a knockdown, drag-out brawl with Sicily.
So you're moving the population from Sicily to...
I did not confirm nor deny that.
Okay. I'm just trying to work this out in like game mechanic terms, because that's another thing I need to explain, because I haven't yet. But it's possible to move populations.
It may or may not be, yes.
It is possible. Whether you're doing that, you cannot confirm nor deny. I understand.
I cannot confirm nor deny because it may or may not possibly have not been in the deal, and a gamey that's occurring to that. I don't know. This is off the record. This is off the record. You and everybody watching you, it's off the record. Don't tell
Completely
Prussian
off the
Prince.
record. Trying to
But yeah,
remember
that's
where
what's
on
going
earth
on
you
right
are,
now.
Solar Gamer.
What's that?
Oh, there you are. Oh, yes, in the middle of Iberia.
Yeah, I've doubled my size at the very least.
I was going to say, I
More
can
than
actually
double.
find you on the map
started
now.
with 3. You started with 3 provinces. You got 4 extra with your
Yeah.
war. You did pretty good.
Yeah,
37
I'm here.
population. Nice.
still here. Yep, not a regional power yet. I think I did like 20 something for that.
You're close. Like another war of that scale, like where you increase your size by 100%, you'll be right there.
I'd be very happy with another regional power nearby.
Yeah, that'd be
'cause
great.
I can't ally anyone, because I'm the only regional power in all of Iberia, which is great.
Wait, the guys next to you, the red guys?
No,
next to you,
I think they
really?
might have just passed it. So, but then they hate me. So you know.
Oh well, yeah, that would hinder that.
Tartessia.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot. Currently a war in Sardinia against the interior barbarians
Gotcha.
of that island.
And I see that you do now have a border with Rome as well in Corsica.
That's not my fault. I was already colonizing that area, and he took the other part of that from his northern neighbors that I can't pronounce the name of because it's
Etruria.
Yeah, them. They took all of their land in one fell swoop.
Yeah, Rome usually does that because they get basically claims on it all.
Yeah.
So how are
Well-
relations between the two behemoths, Carthage and Rome, right now?
Non-existent because he hasn't talked to me at all. So it's I think he was planning on using the Sicilian powder keg to his advantage, but I cut that out from underneath him by being a ignominious and reasonable negotiator when it came to diffusing that situation.
Makes sense.
Yes, and I'm not going to fall to Rome's barbaric, warmongering, saber-rattling ways, but you didn't hear that from me.
I was going to say, Rome's been very aggressive so far, so I was wondering if his expansion was worrying you.
I have no wants for the Italian clay. I am a North African power, possibly a Western Mediterranean power, but not an Italian power. So why would I care? Unless they force it upon me. They will be the aggressors in a war, not me.
Fair enough. And what about Egypt?
History will remember me.
Oh, we're in.
Egypt.
Oh, we're in.
Egypt is another story. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about them because I don't think they're, in all honesty, I don't think they're a big. I don't think our goals compound against each other at all. I think we're fairly separate.
Okay.
As, there's a large amount of uncolonized land between us that takes a long time to colonize. So.
Fair enough. I was just wondering,
yeah.
because Egypt has managed to secure certain... I don't want to share too much here. They could become a Mediterranean power in the same way that Carthage is kind of known to be a Mediterranean power.
Oh,
3 people are out of sync already.
That very often happens with a rehost. Alright, well, I will jump in my commentator's box again. Thanks very much.
yeah.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Alright, so it is just us again, so I can actually open up my chat, because I don't need to have Discord open. And it looks like everyone is crashing. Let me just double check to see if we are rehosting. Not as yet. But it does look like everyone is leaving right now. So this is one of the problems they were having during the Dividing the Spoils game. So far, so good for me. But we are definitely losing players here. Alright, so while that's happening, we can take a moment to talk about different things. So one of the things we have not yet discussed in any way are the different types of populations. So as Carthage was saying that they may or may not do, is shift population away. Well, how do you do that, Mordred? Well, you actually have a fair number of interactions that you can do with your populace. Population is now simulated far more carefully than it has been in other games, where it's just kind of an arbitrary number or a factor of like economic strength or tax base in a various province. You now have 4 different types of populace. You have slaves, tribesmen, freemen, and citizens. The slaves are... Actually, let's start at the top. The citizens are the ones who do your research. They are the only ones who can generate research points in this game. So the more citizens you have, the more research you will generate. They also provide commerce value. So the more citizens you have in a province, the more the resources you are selling in that province or you are importing in that province will be worth. So the higher your citizen number, and I can't actually click away again.
We're rehosting.
Okay, cool.
Right, I am gonna head off,
Cool.
and I'm hoping Dubonia will stay alive. Doubtful, but you know.
Fingers crossed. I was
Oh,
going to
God,
suggest you could try to become a vassal or something.
Yeah, well, I don't have the time now to even do that, so I'll just hope and pray something good happens in the meantime.
Fair
But
enough.
I'm off to work, and I'll be back in about 6 hours, so...
Well, fingers crossed that you're still alive. Otherwise, you could always take over like the Picts in Scotland or something. They might still be there.
something or... Yeah, I'll have some fun, that's for sure. Alright, laters.
Yep, see you later. Right, I need to try and find Midge's game.
Yeah, so
Hey, Midge. Sorry to barge in like this.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to log out and join back in, or just stay where I am?
Join back on the game again. You need
Okay.
to rejoin the game. There is no game there anymore. Yeah, so we just had a thing that a few people desynced, and then everyone just started to jump out, and huge amount of confusion. So we're just going to quick rehost and get back.
Okay, I mean, I'm like Rose. I can't actually see the game right now. Is it actually up?
Yeah, Roach is here. Lambert's here.
Okay. Do I have you on Steam? I must do.
Yes, you definitely have me on Steam.
I'm not seeing you though. How bizarre. Not actually sure I do. Let's back off one more time. Ah, there it is. Got it. So how do you think things are going at the moment, like in general with the whole multiplayer?
Personally, things are going okay. I'm a bit worried I'm pushing my AE a little bit far.
I haven't looked at your AE. I did see your manpower. That was the number I was going,
Okay, yeah. So my AE is only about 13, but I am about to integrate 3 more people, and then I'm going to take a hibernation season where I to get everyone back, get manpower, that sort of thing.
Build up
The
the
thing
training
is,
camps.
is what with so many players close to me, I wanted to act on my free claims really early, because I obviously get free claims on quite a lot of Italy.
Right.
And I wanted to expand into my nearest neighbors, so even if somebody makes a mad dash and tries to land on Italy, I'll have the power block base to, turn around and go, yeah, you know what? Leave my country.
Get out. Yeah, I was a little surprised the feedback didn't expand quicker when he was playing as Rome, so I kind of like the fact that you're like consolidating your gains really early, building them up, and then you'll be in a very strong regional position to fight back against anyone.
Yeah, and I believe historically Rome did suddenly expand. They weren't slow about it when they took on the Etruscans and the Samnites. So I'm just kind of going there. I'm doing it in the wrong order though. I've gone for I went for the Etruscans before the Samnites. Sorry. So yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that. Sorry, I keep muting myself because the bloody telephone keeps going off. Yeah, I saw you going after them. I was a little concerned at first, but then you smashed them. I didn't actually see you... Sorry, against the Etruscans. I didn't see you fight the Samnites. That was kind of over before I had a chance to get over there.
Yeah, well, I'm still fighting the
Samnites.
Yeah, they're about to be annexed, though. I'm just trying to get the last siege in Apulia. Because, it costs so little for me to take this land. I might as well take all of it in one war rather than do it. Let's spread it over 2.
Fair enough. I guess
it's better for me at this point. It's with the fact that I'm out of manpower. It's better for me at this point to push through these wars and then sit rather than break up my manpower again.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, Rome uses heavy infantry, and they have the highest weight of attrition in the game at the moment. So I will wipe through my manpower very quickly compared to other nations. Purely because even walking from the length and breadth of my nation, if I'm walking for too long, and obviously if the manpower ticks over while they're in a high attrition province, it'll hurt no matter what. So that's the thing.
What I found myself doing when I was playing in my Rome test game is I would have one legion which was mostly heavy infantry, which was like my combat legion. Then I'd have 1 or 2 support legions, which were light infantry for sieging.
Yeah, that's actually a nice tactic. I might use that. Might steal that.
Well, we're still all learning the game and the best tactics to use here, but yeah, that seemed to work quite well. Manpower really wasn't a huge problem for us.
Alright. I am going to go drop back into a different chat. Enjoy.
Okay, see you later. So, yeah. Oh, Bob, the one you want to talk to probably is Midge, if you haven't already. He's organising everything. So, what was I saying? I was saying words. Population. So we've been talking about the citizens, where they provide commerce, income, and also research points. Those research points can then be further modified by various technologies, by ideas, by laws, and we'll take a look at that. I think probably next. We'll do research next. Then after that... Oh, sorry, Bob. No, I'm catching half of the conversation there. Never mind. I've lost myself again. Freemen. Freemen are the next tier of populace. You can upgrade freemen into citizens. Freemen themselves provide manpower. A lot of manpower. But that's all they do. They have absolutely no economic backing whatsoever. They're just manpower. Then below that, you have tribesmen. Tribesmen are great for the tribal nations. They get really big bonuses to tribal happiness. Tribesmen are cool because they provide manpower and also income. They're pretty solid all round. They're not as efficient at generating income as slaves or citizens, and they're not as efficient at generating manpower as freemen, but they do both. If you have tribesmen in a civilized state, so for example Rome gobbling up all of their neighbors right now is going to have a massive influx of tribesmen. That's not a good thing. Tribesmen don't particularly like living in the civilized nations, so it is a matter of some priority that you then start promoting your tribesmen into freemen and then eventually citizens. And then the lowest strata, you have the slaves. Slaves are generally taken when you occupy another region. So for example, whenever Midge takes one of these cities, a number of populace from one of those cities will then be moved into one of the Roman cities. I don't know the ratio, I don't know how they're sent to those cities. I know once you've got the slaves, you can then move them around within your own nation. But that is a mechanic I do quite like, because the more you occupy the nation, the more economic damage you do, because you are literally stealing their population and shipping it home. So in this, you really don't want to be fighting on your own territory. Or if you are fighting on your own territory, you just want to have forts everywhere to stop them actually sieging that stuff. Because as soon as that fort falls, as soon as that province is switched over to the previous nation, is occupied by somebody, you will lose a bunch of populace. And if you lose a city like Carthage, that's ruinous. Like, they will steal like 50 population or something crazy like that. So yeah, doing that is a problem. Also, I just realized some people are talking about the single-player game that I have going on YouTube right now. During these downtimes, that is a fantastic opportunity to go and watch those videos. So if you go over to youtube.com/Mordred Viking, if someone wants to put the link to that, that would be great. You can catch the single-player game of that, of the Langobards, and then just like have this open in a window or something so you can see when we're actually live again, and then be able to jump back into the multiplayer. So it's a pretty good idea. So you want to make sure you keep a mix of freemen and citizens, or is the idea to only have citizens? Citizens don't provide a huge amount of money, so you, especially for the civilized nations, you will want to have a large number of citizens, but you'll also want the freemen, because manpower will become a consistent problem. One thing I have noticed about this game is manpower grows really slowly. So if we click on Rome, for example, Rome's maximum manpower, for Pete's sake, Rome's manpower is going to be 53,000, and they regain 200 a month at the moment. So that is going to take them a while to recover, and I don't think it works in the same way as EU4, where as a base you recover your manpower in 10 years. I think it is a lot longer than that, but it can be modified by other stuff. For example, a surplus of grain in the capital, which is one of the functions of trade, by having extra grain, by bringing in more population, by getting slaves and converting them into freemen. There are ways of dealing with that problem. The other function of slaves, and this is another of the really cool features of this game, is for every 15 slave population you have in one province, you will produce one more trade good. So every city in the entire world produces a trade good, and they will produce precisely one copy of that trade good. If you have just the one copy, you get it in that province. You can't trade it away, I don't think. No, I'm pretty sure you can't trade it away. You just get the bonuses from those goods. So every province is going to function slightly differently depending on the base goods. Then if you have 15 slaves, you'll then get 2 copies of that good, and suddenly trade becomes a thing. You can start to sell it and get it away to others. So for example, in Rome right now, he has a spare copy of cloth, because I assume the city of Rome has more than 15 slaves. It does, it has 25. Sorry, bit of dust or something in my throat. So with that piece of cloth, he can then keep it in Rome, which is going to give him a bonus, because if you have a spare copy of a good in your capital, you get a big bonus. And does it actually say what that bonus is? Yes, as this is the capital, the following benefits are applied to the entire country. Oratory, tech investment, plus 5%. So if you have a surplus good in your capital, it provides a national bonus. Or you can trade it away. And if we look at the trade overview, we can see that he is exporting cloth, iron, wine, wood, olives. That's a very robust piece of dust that seems to be there. hopefully we can charge our way through it. Every export that you are doing or every import you're doing will generate money. The amount of money you generate will depend on your commerce bonuses. There are various ideas, laws, technologies which add to that, and also the number of citizens you have in the province. So exactly how that ratio is calculated, I don't know. All resources seem to have the same value as far as I can tell. It's entirely dependent on how many citizens you have in a province, plus like the base level. Slaves work on +1 per 15 population. It's not +1 if you have 15 or more. It's per 15. So it can be really good if you move slaves to a province where you've got a really important trade good. For example, iron is almost always going to have a demand because everyone wants iron because you require iron to make heavy infantry. So in the province which produces iron, which is around here somewhere, there it is, you probably want to start moving slaves here so you can start exporting iron. Or not, because you might not want other people getting iron, because that means other people are going to have heavy infantry as well. Trade goods don't generate the same income, they are divided into several subcategories. Interesting, okay. I know subcategories can be seen here, but I didn't know if that affected their price. So like strategic resources will give you access to new units, iron is heavy infantry, horses is light and heavy cavalry, wood is triremes, elephants are elephants, step horses are horse archers, and then the camels are camel cavalry. Then there are growth resources. Grain gives you a 0.1 bonus to population growth, while fish and livestock give you a 0.05, but they do stack. Then population ones give you different happiness. So for example, having wine will make your freemen happier in that province, and if you have it in your capital, then army maintenance cost. Like, there is a whole bunch of bonuses, and we will go through that in just a moment. Military bonuses will give you things like army maintenance cost reduction, build cost reduction, fort defense, and then economy and technology will give you local tax bonuses, commerce income, etc. And then because of the import-export mechanics, you can basically determine which provinces have what resources. In order to specialize or spread your bonuses out. So for example, if you have a city with lots of slaves and you want the slaves to grow there, you probably want to try and stack up growth products in order to get the population growth there increased. Alright, so while we're actually here, we may as well take a look at exactly what those bonuses are. Sorry, it's just kind of hard for me to talk right now. Horrible. What was it? Trade route. So, iron allows heavy infantry. Oh, great. I'm just gonna... No, I can't actually do anything while that's up. Great. Well, I guess it exits. I was trying to save the game there. Well, this is going to allow me to try and recover my voice a bit.
Hi.
Hi.
So, 10 people dropped, so I'm going to try another rehost.
Yep. Reasonable.
Click it. But first, I'm going to try and let the game progress one day with no AI on.
Okay. So console commands are still a thing. It's given me time to explain how, like, populations work, how trade goods and trade works, kind of. Hard to do when you don't actually have the graphics in front of you, though. I'm actually quite pleased I remembered what all 4 of the different populations do. Oh, I didn't mention that slaves also provide base tax, and quite a lot of it, so if you want to have a lot of money, you need a lot of slaves, because it's trade and also tax. Full restart would help. Actually, that's probably a good idea if everyone restarts their game.
Did you not?
Not that time, no.
Oh, yeah, it's better if you did.
You might want to tell other people that too. Play. Can't wait for Mordred to see the person as Rome who has Roman war elephants. Wait, Mitch, do you have war elephants?
Not yet.
Katie, you're lying to me. Although that would be pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to really look at what trade goods different people are getting yet. I did see that Egypt is getting an important one for them. Can you see what other people are importing? You must be able to.
Not easily that I can find. Okay, game's up.
Cool. I'll be there very shortly. In fact, while that's loading, I'm going to find why I don't have you as a friend yet. Trying to think of the best way of connecting to that. Nope, we were not friended. We are now. Oh, he's left. He didn't want to be my friend. That was weird. Why on earth was that not added? Here we go. Join the game. Hey, Lost Man. Can those pops move from one tier to another? Like, can a slave be promoted to a freeman or vice versa? Yes, populations can be promoted and more difficultly demoted. So promotions are definitely doable. So, for example, a slave can become a freeman. A slave becomes a freeman. A tribesman becomes a freeman. A freeman becomes a citizen. And if you have the correct governor policy, you can demote people. Governor policies are kind of similar to the province stance from Total War. So if you own an entire province, you can set a, what are they called? Like a policy, provincial policy. It's exactly the same thing. There are governor policies in this. So you can tell your governor to believe like generating wealth, or converting cultures, or converting religions, or promoting, demoting populations. And if you do that, then they'll try to make all population strata equal. So they'll try to have as many slaves as there are tribesmen, as there are citizens, as there are freemen. So that can mean demoting. I think that's the only way of demoting people, though. I don't feel like I'm going to cough anymore. That's a good improvement. Unfortunately, you can't enslave characters. You can imprison them. Yes. You can imprison, you can banish, you can execute. I think you can recruit them. Make friends, bribe, give triumph, recruit foreign characters, reward veterans of characters to make them not loyal to that guy, smear, reputation, demand support for an heir, and a few others. I'm trying to remember what things I've done. I've definitely banished a few people, because if you banish them, you get a portion of their money. So if you imprison a whole bunch of very wealthy rivals, and then you banish them, you just get money. It's not as much money as I would have liked. Like, I had one character who had, like, 500 wealth. I got, like, 50 ducats for it. I was disappointed. I wanted more. Oh, are we in the game? Was that a hot join? I don't know what's happening. Is time moving? Time is not moving. We are currently paused.